What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Lucid Daily. And man, it has been a week, and I have never missed this many episodes of Lucid Daily, but I have been traveling like I've never traveled before. So I feel like I'm finally adjusted to all the time zones into my schedule while I travel. So thank you guys for your patience. And let's go ahead and hop into today's episode of Lucid Daily. There's three or four main things that we want to talk about. And out of the last couple of days, I feel like these are some of the biggest deals that have happened since we haven't been covering it. So let's go ahead and jump into everything that's going on. First off, yesterday we had the huge shocker of the 9.1% inflation rate, which is absolutely crazy. However, the markets seem to bounce back quite a bit today, just kind of hopefully saying like that's the top, that's the peak inflation, and kind of everybody calling for the Fed to do a 100 basis point rate. I don't know what the actual percentage chance of that happening. I know it was as high as over 50% last night, but I'm not sure as of today. And I say night because it's about midnight here in Germany, and in the United States, it's a little past noon. So bear with me now. So let's go ahead and start. Lucid was up 3% today, and excuse the comma, it's how they do it here in Germany. So I try to change it, I can't. So Lucid was up at 3% today. Tesla was up 0.5% today. They had the news that Karpathy, I believe is how you pronounce his name, the head of AI of Tesla, is actually leaving the company. And we'll talk about that a little bit later because I do think there is an interesting point to make there. You also do have Rivian up at 2.3% and up another 0.5% in the after hours. People are starting to become more and more optimistic about Rivian. And like I've been saying, Rivian, I believe, is 1/4 ahead of where Lucid is at right now. So hopefully that this will be the last earnings report that Lucid kind of has a dramatic fall or a dramatic chance of falling. And then the earnings points after this coming earnings report will all be good news going forward. That's the hope, at least. We will be doing a full earnings breakdown before and after and during earnings. So one of the first things that I saw today as I started researching what I was going to talk to you guys about was the fact that Lucid had 2 EV battery fires at its Arizona manufacturing plant in the last 4 months. Now, I really don't think it's a big idea. Neither does the stock say so. It's interesting that Lucid's really good at keeping things really quiet within the company. I don't know if they threaten employees within an inch of their life, or if the employees are just like they don't want any, like if they are all like banded together, they don't want to get anything out. So I do think that's actually really interesting coming from Lucid's side of things, because usually within hours of Elon Musk sending an email to Tesla employees, it's already leaked. So the fact that we've had like there has not been a lot of noise coming from the employees of Lucid. It's actually pretty interesting. So as you can see here, there's two incidences that were reported coming from the factory. The factory fire is not super important. One person was burned during the first accident. Hopefully they're okay. And then there was a couple of people treated for the second fire that did have some issue with the smoke inhalation in inhaling the smoke. The other interesting part is, unlike the last Business Insider report that we read, there was a Lucid spokesperson that kind of clarified the claims that were coming up. But with this one, there really wasn't a spokesperson that didn't respond. Usually, the PR will get in front of things and say like, "Hey, like this is what actually happened." But for some reason, they didn't do that, which is interesting. I wonder why. I wonder if we're gonna, like I said, this news relatively is super not important. I just thought it was, we talk about Lucid daily, so that was one of the first things that I saw as I was researching for today. So Bad Driver, I actually was able to drive his Lucid, so that was super cool to be able to meet him and drive his Lucid. He tweeted out today that Tesla's top AI executive and Andre Karpathy, who helped develop Autopilot, is leaving, and there's a lot of reports over this. This is just one of the screenshots that I grabbed, and I just like wanted to play the what if game. So he was largely in charge of getting Tesla's like street lane steering autopilot to where it is now, where it can navigate city streets and onto the highways and things like that. What if Lucid offered him some fat compensation package to come help Lucid get their AI off the ground? I mean, that would be super cool, and I feel like that'd be really good just to even get Lucid to where Tesla is now. Oh man, I would think that if Lucid could do that, that would change the game for me personally and a lot of other investors that I know. That's just like, hey, they're going all in on AI. They're going to go get Karpathy, and he's going to take them from where they are now with their lane assistance to city navigation. After that, they're going to have to figure it out. But man, that would be so cool. I just think that'd be a game changer. But here's probably the biggest thing that I've seen that has made me super optimistic. So what's the first thing? If you talk to investors, if people that drive the car, anybody, you can even talk to John Redinger, that makes a lot of videos about Lucid. The first thing they say that they don't like about the car is the software is slow, laggy, the navigation isn't super good. Amazon Alexa doesn't work super well. Well, here that we have a picture of a Lucid. This was in the Reddit forums, and I actually got this from Lucid Insider. He does a great job at covering a lot of things that he has eyes in so many places and that I don't normally see, but I'm glad that he does cover the things that he does. As you can see right here, there is a spot that says Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, what I think is really interesting is people are like, oh, what if it's photoshopped? Well, the screen right here, I don't believe it'd be very difficult to Photoshop that glare onto it. And especially like having the silhouette of the person right here, having that glare onto the screenshot would be fairly difficult. So I don't think that this is photoshopped. And as soon as this comes out, this is going to be a big deal because it shows that Lucid's actually improving on some of the on its Achilles heel right now, which is its software. Like on the actual car side of things, as a company, obviously we're working on production and ramping that, but that's given. But man, if we can get CarPlay, that would be huge. That's one of the things that people complain the most about Teslas is that they don't have CarPlay. Although most Tesla people are pretty happy with the software. Those who want Apple CarPlay, like, no, I don't really want to get a Tesla, doesn't have Apple CarPlay. I don't know if that's a determining factor, but I do know that that is opinion of a percentage of people. So if you were able to get this in Lucid, like if they're say starting Q3, starting Q4, starting 2023, we will have CarPlay on all cars. Oh, that would be huge just because the user experience would become so much better. Reservations would get up, which obviously helps Lucid's top line and bottom line. So I think that should be a very, very high priority. And that's something that would make me personally a lot more bullish on the stock. Next, this is something that could be taken bullish or bearish. So there was this number that Lucid Insider posted today that was wrapped on the Lucid Air trailer. And as there's a video you can watch on Twitter as the cars are passing by, you see this number, and it's number 2,257. Now, why would they number a car 2,257? There could be a number of things. That could be the number of cars per quarter. That could be total number of cars. That could be just a completely irrelevant number that has nothing to do with it. But this just is a reminder that we have that goal of 12 to 14,000 cars in 2022, which hopefully we don't revise down this next earnings call. But if we do, it's better to get in front of it than be delayed. I think that this earnings season is going to be especially crappy. So I do think that it's relatively interesting. If they're only at 2,000 and we're halfway through the year, we have a long way to go. But some people think that 2,000 is actually relatively bullish from the pictures that we've been seeing. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really matter where we are in like whether you think this is bullish or bearish. Like at the end of the day, we have to get to that 12,000 minimum. And if we're only at 2,000, that means the next half of the year, we're going to have to, 5x the number of deliveries that we have in the next 6 months, which isn't impossible. It's just a tall task. If that number is that's just pure speculation. So don't take my word for that. I just think that was a fascinating thing that Lucid Insider picked up and I want to talk about. Hopefully tomorrow we can go over, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or the next day, we can go over a spreadsheet. It might even be Saturday where we go over, sit down, talk about projections, talk about estimates, talk about predictions about what may happen in this upcoming earnings season. I believe they report in 2 weeks. I could be wrong about that, so we'll double check tomorrow. But I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day and I appreciate you guys for watching. Like always, see you next time. Thanks for watching.